I rise today to offer an amendment to H.R. 5, the Student Success Act, to add a section on restorative justice and conflict resolution, allowing states to award grants for professional development in those areas. This amendment allows more flexibility to states by expanding the types of training that can be paid by Title II funds, which will be used to make sure teachers and administrators have sufficient training opportunities. The amendment doesn't add any cost to the bill. Numerous studies have shown that once students enter the juvenile justice system, they're more likely to be arrested as adults. Rather than feeding the school-to-prison pipeline, this amendment offers a means to train teachers and administrators on how to address disciplinary problems by means other than simply suspending or expelling students. When students are away from the classroom because of suspensions or expulsions, they're more likely to get in trouble with law enforcement. Many LEAs have moved away from zero-tolerance policies because students were being suspended or expelled from the classroom for relatively minor behavior. So an example was a student who used his hand to simulate a gun and was suspended, and another situation where a child brought a Nerf-style gun to school and was reported to the police. These type of incidences hurt the students, cost the society more money in the long run, and cost us human beings. This amendment would help by providing a means to fund the training necessary to establish disciplinary policies and procedures that don't treat each infraction the same, often with excessive punishment. Restorative justice and conflict resolution programs work to address the cause of disciplinary problems and repair any harm that has been done. Evidence suggests those restorative justice programs work and they save money in the long run because incarcerating youth is expensive. A report released by the Justice Policy Institute in 2014 showed incarcerating a child can exceed $400 a day, or nearly $150,000 a year. Many of our nation's most vulnerable youth are swept into the justice system as a result of the current over-reliance on policing in our schools. This needs to stop. From Pennsylvania to California, schools have been seeing reductions in disciplinary infractions and suspensions because of the program's usage. Used in many communities around the country, but needs to be used in more. There are many organizations that support in this country restorative justice and this amendment. The NEA, the AFT, the Peace Alliance, the National Association of Community and Restorative Justice, Dignity in Schools, and the Kansas Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution have all written in support of this amendment. This amendment becomes law. Teachers and school administrators have the opportunity and resources to address disciplinary problems in ways other than suspension, expulsion, or involving law enforcement. More flexibility will go to LEAs and save money in the long term. CBO has said the amendment does not add cost. Appreciate the opportunity to present this amendment, which will help numerous students stay on the path to graduation and a crime-free life, and ask my fellow members to support it. I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman from Tennessee reserves the balance of his time. For what purpose does the gentleman from Indiana seek recognition?
I rise to claim time in opposition, although I'm not opposed.
Without objection, the gentleman from Indiana is recognized for 5 minutes.
I thank the chair, and I thank my friend, the gentleman from Tennessee, for this amendment. This amendment will allow teachers and other school professionals, if they so choose, at the state and local level, and that's the key here throughout our bill, to receive training and to better address problems that may arise at their schools. I agree, conflict resolution is an important tool to help keep students and faculty safe and focused on education rather than the problems. This is a good amendment as it improves the underlying bill. I thank the gentleman again for offering it, and I urge my colleagues to support it, and I yield back.
The gentleman from Indiana yields back the balance of his time. The gentleman from Tennessee is recognized.
I want to thank my friend from the Hoosier State for working with me on this. I want to recognize Mr. Polis for 1 minute to address his support as well.
The gentleman from Colorado is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thank the gentleman from Tennessee. I'm very proud that my home county of Boulder County is one of 4 judicial districts in the state of Colorado to have a pilot program for restorative justice. Boulder, Weld, Pueblo, and Alamosa counties are recipients of the pilot program. Is a tremendous opportunity to use restorative justice in the juvenile delinquency context. As you know, the goal of restorative justice is for the young people to figure out how they can make up for their crimes directly to the people affected rather than just have a fine that's placed on them. Our district attorney, Stan Garnett, believes that 60 to 70% of juvenile crime will be able to be dealt with through restorative justice in Boulder County. What this amendment would allow for Mr. Cohen is a more meaningful partnership with a school district to this effect. These funds, the current funds for the pilot program come through the justice system. If funds are available to train educators with regard to restorative justice, a more meaningful and integrated partnership with the school district and the DA's office and the Sheriff's Department can be reached to make restorative justice even more successful, both in Boulder County, Colorado, as well as the rest of the country. I strongly support the amendment, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Colorado yields back the balance of his time. Gentleman from Tennessee is recognized.
In the process of thanking Chairman Klein and Ranking Member Scott and the Education Committee and Chairman Sessions and the Ranking Committee Slaughter and the rest of the Rules Committee, I yield the balance of our time to Ranking Member Scott.
Gentleman from Virginia is recognized for the balance of the time.
Thank you, and I thank the gentleman from Tennessee for this great amendment. I know, working with him on the Judiciary Committee for many years, that he's a strong supporter of crime prevention initiatives, and restorative justice and conflict resolution programs have been shown to reduce crime time and time again. And so these concepts are appropriate in our schools. They'll help create safe learning environments, and I'm delighted to support it. I yield back the balance of our time.
Gentleman from Virginia yields back the balance of his time. Gentleman from Tennessee, all time being expired. The question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Tennessee. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.